It's time for the Dane by Local podcast, Let's Get Local. Each month, we'll feature DBL members and hear their stories. So let's jump into our next episode.
Welcome back to another edition of Let's Get Local. I'm Jason Hafman, your host, also the outreach manager over at Project Home. But I'm really excited for episode 7 because I finally tracked down Chef Oscar here at Fuegos, and we get to hear all about the great things that are happening here at this restaurant with him and with the whole family that they've created here. So Chef Oscar, thanks so much for taking some time for us today.
Thank you for having me.
First off, so this podcast is really all about just getting to know our Dane by Local members a little bit better, and we get to know a little bit more behind just the business as well. But tell us about Fuegos, the restaurant.
Well, Fuegos, the restaurant, was built on more of a healing process for our family. We lost 2 loved ones in 2013 and 2014. Both were my sons. And we built Fuegos on that basis as a healing process for our family that we were struggling. I mean, I don't wish it upon anybody, and I definitely understand the whole saying that we're not meant to bury our children. So this whole restaurant was built with that in mind. We did the floors, the design, the painting. We did the interior decorating, the flow of the kitchen and the front of the house. So it was very important for us to make sure that when we did this, we took all of our experience and kind of put it together and said, okay, how's this going to work? How's it going to make it everybody else enjoy and appreciate what we've done? So that's why we did what we did.
What a great way to try to honor your kids and
it's for the legacy.
Remember them.
It's to remember them, but also taking something that's so dark and personal within our lives, and share it with others in a positive way, so that we can show others that are fighting with these kind of struggles of losing a loved one, how to overcome that there is a brighter day, that life isn't always what it seems, and that when you meet one of us, you can definitely tell that we love what we do. We're very passionate. Our family's always been very passionate about what we do, and there's just we don't stop. I know my boys are smiling down on us. If you look, when you come into the restaurant, there's a cloud that hangs over with the 2 different colors for the boys. One was purple, Emilio, he loved purple, and then Pablo was blue. So when they passed, those were the colors that we wore to honor them in their passing. And so they always are looking above, in that cloud is how I feel, watching over what we do. Making sure that I'm doing my job, making sure that plate looks good, making sure that customers are happy. So when I hear the laughter, we get a lot of laughter here at Fuegos. I don't know. This is a really fun restaurant, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on, but there's a lot of laughter that happens here. And every time my heart just sings because, that hole that's in there gets to heal just a little more. It just helps everything with the healing process. About the food of Fuegos, we are a Latin restaurant. We're not trying to be a Mexican restaurant. We're not trying to be a Spanish restaurant. We're a restaurant that has a Latin flair to everything. Kind of taken some of grandma's and mom's recipes and aunt's recipes and kind of combined them together with some of the stuff that I've been taught when I lived down in Orlando for 5 years, working at Disney World, and I kind of there was a melting pot of Latinos down there. So what I wanted to create when I opened up Fuegos was to make it fun, make it different, give it a new look, trying to source as much local as possible. You'll see me walk around in Woodman's and some of the farmers markets, and I'm just picking up my produce because I want to get it as fresh as possible and get quality ingredients. With that said, I think my boys, one of them was a chef, and I think he would be the hardest on me. Because I tell you, there's sometimes I feel like he's watching me, and that's, hey, that's not right. Let's just get that right. So in a way, he's always going to be with me. They're both going to be always with me. But I feel that's why I come to work, to be with them.
Well, I thank you for sharing the personal story. I mean, it's not always easy to do that, but obviously it's what's behind this restaurant for you. So, one thing, you touched on a number of things I want to follow up about, but one thing you talked about was the restaurant here, and I know the focus of it really was to try to make it a gathering place for everybody, and my wife has had struggles with food for a long time. She's actually really on a very strict diet currently, so it's difficult for us to go out to eat and find something for her to eat. And you've, with the menu here and what you offer, you've been able to merge and offer people that have challenges and have limitations with food, and then still give the people that don't have those limitations to have a good meal as well. So I think it's great what you've done here.
Well, thank you. Yeah, one of the things that we kept in mind, this was, by the way, the most challenging menu I've ever created. It's challenging because I don't have the 40-foot hood and kitchen space that you really need to execute something of this caliber, where everything would have its own sauce and its own broth or stock. I had to create a menu that could coincide with each other because of it being vegan and carnivore. And I wanted to be able to help those that have dietary issues like your wife, being able to say, hey, I don't want onions, or I can't have garlic, so that I could transform it into something that they can eat, giving them several choices, not just one. And that's one of the things that when I took this menu and took it apart and said, I can't have this many stocks and this many things, I had to combine and make new mother sauces so that I could create all these things. And that was the challenge, was making sure that when I did one side, I had to do the other side. So it was a challenge, but it was fun, and it's always fun. I like a challenge like that.
You talked about working and learning so much in your time in Orlando. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, that was an amazing time. It was 1999 to 2005, roughly. I was down in Orlando, and it was just amazing. Love the weather, who can't love the weather? But not only that, it was just, I was working special events, doing my advanced chef courses, and it was amazing. I got to work in some kitchens that were just crazy busy, doing $17 million a year in one location. $48,000 nights was like a walk in the park. That was just like nothing.
Wow.
As soon as you drop below 20, all of a sudden everybody's having issues because they never have it so slow, And here, we're just hoping that we get $1,000 in the door. It's quite of a different world. So the experience I got down there was beyond what I've ever expected. And anyone who gets a chance that's a young chef that wants to get an experience, go down to Disney and just work. Just work. Get in there, get into the programs, and just work. It's an amazing, amazing experience.
What kind of things did you bring with you from there?
Lots of Latin, lots of Asian. I learned to work with a couple Asian chefs, both in sushi, and then I also worked with a couple Thai chefs. They didn't even know any English. It was more like point, and then I would create, and they'd tell me yes or no if it was right, how to cut things. Everything was like trying to learn Spanish, I guess, for some people. Well, I was trying to learn Thai, and it was not very good. I got the pointing down right. That's about it.
When I walked in today, and unfortunately I haven't made it here yet, but I'm going to set a reservation before I leave for next week because we've got an event coming up with Dane by Local. But I walked in, and just the whole atmosphere here, it's just the way it's decorated. It just looks beautiful, and it's really fun and exciting, and at the same time really elegant. So I think you've what you were going for there is really kind of pulled together with the work you did just for the layout here and the atmosphere, and then you put the food with it. Sounds like you've really got something cooking on your hands here. So I hope that it continues to go bigger, and you get closer to maybe those $48,000 nights.
Yeah, I doubt it, but yeah, that's a wish in the making, I guess. One thing though, that you were talking about events and stuff. We do have the Dame by Local coming up, and then after that we have our second drag brunch that is going to be also coinciding with a nonprofit. Geo's Garden is who we've picked for the September one. It's September 7th. 2 seatings are available. These drag brunches are unbelievably busy. We had no idea how busy it was going to be. A friend of ours told us about it, and we've been toying with the idea of doing one. And it was unbelievably busy. Like we were booked within a week and a half. It was sold out. So we're really want to give back to the community, and I feel that this is Dame by Local coming up, and September 7th with the drag brunch coming up. I think them once a month, I think they're going to be a big hit, and this is a positive way to give back to the community.
Well, and I've heard that about you. We'll talk about Eat Local, Give Local in just a minute, but I've heard that so much about you from so many people that I've talked with within Dame by Local, that, Fuegos is always, they keep saying Fuegos is always willing to contribute, to pitch in, to give anything they can to help make our event successful or to support a nonprofit or whatever. Where does that come from? Because not every business and not every owners and people are so giving.
That comes back to the point where we built this on a healing process to help us, but not only us, to give back to the community, because the boys, the way they left the earth, one was in a very happy note. He was out celebrating, and it was just a freak accident. God's hand was definitely in that. The second one, or the first one, which was Emilio, he left in a very violent way. He was shot by the Walworth County Sheriff's Department, and he was in a hospital. He had gotten beaten up while in custody, and then they shot him while at the hospital because he tried to escape. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm trying to work on that one myself. That one's the hardest one to work with. Trying to accept what had happened. We feel that we need to love one another. We feel that our family should give for those that need. I try to give everybody a chance when it comes to giving stuff away. It's from my heart because the boys are always there in my heart. And I feel that if I stop giving, I stop living. I feel that if someone is out there and they need something for a nonprofit, don't be afraid to reach out to us. We will do what we can. Whether it's we sponsor your food, we give a chef's table for a silent auction, have your event here. I mean, we just want to be part of the community, just like that tragic moment when it happened, and a lot of people showed love to us, and still to this day they show love to us for what had happened to Emilio. It was shocking. It's hard to talk about sometimes, but I know that my son would want me to give. I believe it with all my heart. He was always a family man. He was always about dedicating positive energy to others instead of the negative that's out there right now.
Wow. That's an amazing way to honor him and continue to be true to yourself as well. Obviously, because that, as I know, and I credit my parents all the time for things that I do. It's, our parents, we're a reflection of our parents a lot of times. And so those values and things that they shared with us and taught us are really important to the people we end up being. So I'm guessing some of that came from you as well.
Yeah.
In your heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did want to talk a little bit about your connection to Dame by Local as well. We know we have the event coming up. So it's Eat Local, Give Local. Now, this is the second year you'll be doing that event or participating, or?
Yeah, I believe it's the second one that we're doing here. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about why you wanted to participate in that, and then what you're hoping, what people should expect from it here at Fuegos.
For that day, I'm going to have a special menu drawn up so that people can I'm going to source everything on that menu locally, first off, because it is a special event. And Second part, everything that comes in there, I'm going to try to make sure that I have the proper either farmer that grew it or the ranch that it came from, so that everybody can see where it came from and know that they're eating all local. And then, of course, some of the proceeds are going to go to Dane Buy Local for that. Very, very happy to give, and hope that we have a big turnout so that we keep passing it out, keep passing out the good stuff.
Yeah, I know it was a really successful event last year. I know there's a good number of restaurants participating. And, if you're out there and you're thinking about eat local, give local, you could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you want, all in the same day, and just go to 3 very special local places all in one day by participating in that. So that's August 22nd. This will be released before then, too, so people can know about it. But a couple other things with Dane Buy Local. Now, last year, you guys were also honored. You were nominated for and won a Biz Award. So what do you think about that? What was that experience like for you guys?
Well, that was amazing. I know I didn't get to make the award dinner. I had both Cassandra and Jordan go up there and accept the award. I was extremely busy. We had another catered event we were doing for another nonprofit, and so I wanted to make sure that I want to be here when big things happen like that. So I want to make sure everything's done right. So unfortunately, I wasn't there, but I'm honored. I'm ecstatic that we got that, and I couldn't believe we got that. That was an amazing honor. Thank you so much for that.
But I think that comes back to what you've done so far, being so giving in the community, being a part of the community, and obviously helping make Madison a little bit more unique by bringing this restaurant to Madison.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's been great. Couple other quick things that I had to ask you about. So now I know you guys also have a bar here.
Yep.
And tell me about the margaritas and some of the special items at the bar that you think might separate you from some other places.
Well, every Wednesday you can try our margaritas for $4. It's the deal of the week. So every Wednesday it's $4. They are amazing. They are as true as you can get in Mexico, because we have well, not hand squeeze. I'm not say hand squeeze unless it breaks down, but we have a big juicer, and that bartenders hate that, by the way.
Right.
But we have a big juicer, and we squeeze all our juice. We get our limes in fresh, get them squeezed, and we make our own mixes. I will not accept any pre-mixed anything. So we make our own simple syrups, our own rock candy syrup, our own margarita mix, Bloody Mary mix, mojito. We make our own sangria, all of them. So everything's done from scratch. I'm doing it in the kitchen. They got to do it in the bar. That's the way I feel.
What's special, or what's on the menu here? Give people a little picture of the menu and what they can expect to have options when they come to eat here.
Well, obviously we have 2 different menus. One's a vegan and one's a carnivore. Anything from steaks to grilled portobellas, as well as cauliflower steaks that have been finished off in the oven, roasted. And then we also have just wonderful array of tapas. Anything from alligator chorizo, mussels. Keep hearing that we got the best calamari in town. I don't know. I guess you'll have to try that.
You had me on some of those other things you were talking about. I don't know. I'm going to have to pace myself.
Well, yeah. We all Tuesdays, if you want to try different stuff, half off tapas. So every Tuesday, the tapa menu is half off. So anything on there from tostones, which are the plantains that are deep fried, and then smashed, either green, or you can have the maduros, which are just the softer, riper ones.
Okay.
Right.
You got me hungry now.
Awesome.
But I'll have to wait till next week, and I bring my family over.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay?
Yes.
All right, good. Now, we have to do this, because this is part of every podcast that we've done so far. We do a little speed question and answer round.
Sure.
So I just want your initial instinct here. When I give you a couple of categories, the idea is we're thinking locally. And with most of these, until the end, it gets a little off, but that was my personal issue there that I kind of threw us off at the end. But it was an interesting question anyway. Okay, so first, I want to know your favorite local restaurant, and you can say your own if you want. That's fine.
Pig in the fur coat.
Nice. What about a local festival that you enjoy?
I really enjoy the Willie Street Fest.
And Fuegos right down here on Willie Street, so great location. How about a view or site in the area that is just unique and that you really like?
I'm going to have to say up at Inovino, when you sit out in their patio up here in downtown, it's a beautiful, beautiful site.
What about a street name?
I know it's not called Willie Street like that, but that's what I would just rechange the name instead of Williamson Willie Street, because everybody knows it as Willie Street.
Exactly. Do you drink coffee or tea?
Both.
Okay. Give me a coffee or tea place that you really like.
Colectivo on the square. And I actually like their tea as well. Or and what's that other one? Ancora's.
How about a local? Now, you said you work with so many of these nonprofits. What about a local nonprofit that you really enjoy?
G-Safe has been a really big one. Dame by Local, obviously, is another one that we work with. And LPA.
And then finally, I have to ask you, do you like sports?
Yep.
Okay, what's your favorite sport or game?
Packers.
All right. Hey, all right. We've got more to talk about. Not for this podcast, but maybe off the podcast. And then, what's your favorite eating utensil?
Chopsticks.
First person to say that. Nice. Well done, Chef Oscar Villarreal of Fuegos. As we just kind of finish this up, and again, thanks so much for taking a little time to talk to us about Fuegos, about Dame by Local, about your connection, and getting, telling us really the real life story behind all of this. I just want to know, moving forward, what do you hope for this restaurant, for this establishment, and then again for what it can do in the neighborhood and the community?
I just hope that it gives out laughter to those that come here, and a moment of joy throughout the day. When after they come here and they're like, you know what, we had such a great time at Fuegos, let's go back. Just positive energy. That's all I'm looking for. Just positive.
That's Chef Oscar here at Fuegos down on Willie Street. Come check it out for sure. Dame by Local member, great restaurant in the area, wonderful member of the community, and a group that gives in our community. Those are all really, really valuable things. So we thank you, Chef Oscar, for that. And thanks so much for taking some time to tell us about Fuegos.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking out Dame by Local's new podcast, Let's Get Local, available on YouTube, Facebook, and DBL's website. Join us next month for more local talk.